What's going on, y'all? It's Kelly here, man. Felon CDL journey, still on the road. Still out here attending to these loads. Getting loaded right now over here at Cargill Kitchen in Lake Odessa, Michigan. I wish I would have started this video or had footage of it when the guy first showed up and unhooked from his trailer, but to me, man, this is a real treat, man. Watching this dude do what he does, how he works and stuff, man. Just you know, instead of just looking at another trailer, I get to see how he does, how he operates, man. A little bit of more insight, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's a treat for me, man, in my mind. Whenever I first got my CDL, or before I got my CDL, that's actually the kind of work that I had kind of envisioned myself doing. Like that kind of stuff, what he's doing, moving equipment around. To be honest with you, that was the first vision that came into my head, was doing that kind of stuff, exactly what he's doing right there. But that's not how it started out for me. After I got my CDL, of course, as y'all already know, if y'all been watching my channel, I went to work with Trans Am and started running reefer OTR with them. But whenever I was going through school and I was, you thinking about all these different things running through your mind, like what he's doing right there, that's like exactly what I had in mind of what I would be doing once I got my CDL. So I think that trailer, with that type of trailer that he's got, I think it's a form of a RGN, removable gooseneck trailer. And like I said, whenever he first pulled up, I was watching him. It would have been nice if I would have had footage of him pulling up, but and whenever he was disconnecting from the trailer. But on the back of his fifth wheel, I guess that's what you call a removable gooseneck. There's an attachment still attached to his fifth wheel, and the main body of that trailer is connects to it. And I know that there's some hydraulic rams that whole setup consists of. It's got some hydraulics in it. I think what they call that ability on when the truck has ability to when it has a hydraulic pump and a reservoir, and it can basically hook up to hydraulic remotes, or it has that capability. I think that's called a wet kit, but I don't know. I think that's what that's called, but I'm not exactly 100% sure. Anyhow, things are still good, man. The last month and a half, month or two, man, we kind of spent a lot of money, spent probably just about as much as we made. And but we almost got the truck paid off, but we don't have it paid off yet, but almost. see, because like it came to a point to where we ran up some debt on our. Basically, right now we got a little over $5,000 left to pay on the truck, and we was anticipating having the truck paid off, July, August, but here it is. It's August 31st, and we still don't have the truck paid off. Like I said, we got a little over $5,000 owed on it, but we ran into some a little hardships. So we had to do some repairs, and little things just keep adding up, and so we got more credit card debt than what we have on the. We have more debt. More of our debt is for credit card instead of what we have for the truck. So we at first, whenever we first was operating, our main priority was to pay the loan off for the truck. Paid it down. It was $60,000. Paid it down, and things was good. Thankfully, whenever we first started, we didn't run into too much issues. But because the radiator and the air dryer housing and the overhead and just a bunch of different little things, a blower motor, AC blower motor, staying on top of the service, buying tools that that is going to enable us to work on the truck ourselves. A lot, $1,000 for rotors, 2 rotors and the brakes, $500 for the Milwaukee impact, $800 for the overhead, looking at $200, $250, $300 AC blower motor, just different stuff like that keeps on adding up, and so we have kind of we've been able to pay the rent, pay the all the everything that's all, we haven't fallen behind on any kind of payments. I've been able to send money to the house and pay for the rent, but other than that, we haven't had no extra cash flow. We're waiting on payments. It's a juggling act. Whenever you're waiting on payments and you've got something that's due, and then you're trying to balance it out and plan and make sure that you have money to stay paying for fuel. We gotta renew our insurance coming up. It's already about to be a year that we've been in business, so we're gonna have to renew our insurance. So we're gonna need money for that down payment. But anyhow, I just want to tell y'all that things are still good. We have, we met a lot of our goals, and our goal was to pay back the loan in July, but we didn't do that, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it in August. Today, like I said, today's the 31st. Well, you know what? I'll tell y'all what. we actually could have paid back the loan and met our goal. But remember, I told y'all that me and my sister changed our strategy, and we decided that it was better for us to pay off the credit card debt, put that as number one priority, versus instead of paying the loan off. At first, the loan was our number one priority. We paid it down. While we was doing that, we ran up credit card debt to about over $10,000, and then we got our loan payment down to below $10,000. And then at that point, I told my sis, I said, let's go on ahead and change our strategy. Let's pay off his credit card debt. Pay the $10,000 off. You know, because we're paying more interest on the credit card debt anyways. So we changed our strategy, and but then after we paid the credit card off that time, we ended up running it up again because of, like I said, just a bunch of little different stuff. They add up. You know, the first time we paid it off, we was paying off the new tires that we put on the truck, close to $6,000. You know, but after we did that, we paid it off, and then just a bunch of little stuff, and we ended up running the credit cards up again. So anyhow, it's fixing to hook back up. But thankfully, the truck is in good condition. No check engine lights. No check engine lights, and anyhow, so that's kind of where we're at right here with Felon CDL journey. You know, Honey Express services. We're still in it. Still blessed. But that's kind of like where we're at. You know, it was a combination of we slowed down. It was a combination of lower rates considerably, higher fuel prices, and unexpected expenses, you know, but to keep the truck maintained. And also combined with regular maintenance costs and the downtime. Like I said, the downtime of dealing with those issues puts it's not just the amount that all those things cost, but it's also the downtime and the lack of income that you're producing whenever you're attending to those issues, like fixing the truck, you know, we're doing whatever you got to do, that puts a dent in what you're projecting. So you I kind of see how you can kind of like get behind it. Like my sister said that what we're doing right now is we're playing catch up. She said we'll be all right. She said we're just playing catch up right now. And so she's been balancing this stuff out. She's been juggling. She's been doing her part. She's been booking these loads. She's been, you know, doing everything as far as that kind of stuff. And you know, I'm trying to do my part, trying to attend to this truck, attend to these loads, man. Keep a good eye on the truck. Make sure that, you know, I'm keeping a close eye on the truck. And I'll tell you what, you ain't never took a close eye on the truck until you notice that coolant level in that reservoir is real sensitive to the way the truck is parked. I mean, it really does make a difference. And if you're really trying to keep an eye on that coolant, I mean, not just to see where it's at, but you're trying to keep an eye on that coolant to see if it's losing any kind of, you're trying to keep an eye on that reservoir, and you're trying to keep an eye on it and determine if it is or if it isn't losing any kind of coolant. You know, the level of the truck can really affect it, man. The tilt, the level of it, the temperature of the truck. So, you know, I learned that recently, man. Like I said, you know, you know, until you really look at it and you watch it, you'll realize that previously you hadn't really kept an eye on it like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I think that's a youngster too, right there. That Western Star. I wonder how many gears it has. I'd probably imagine at least 13. Whenever you're hauling heavy, I guess the more gears is the better. It's not a biggest step from gear to gear on the transmission. Comes the yard dog. I want to watch this guy hook up to his trailer. I'm gonna show that to y'all. I hope he doesn't get mad at me. Probably thinks I'm some kind of weirdo pointing my phone over there in his direction. shooting that hole right there. This guy's been doing donuts in the parking lot. See, he's fixing the. See him working the hydraulics. Seen that hose jump. Anyhow, he's lifting it up. Working some kind of hydraulic ram. Truck. See that hydraulic tank right there? That's a hydraulic fluid reservoir for the hydraulic pump. At least that's what I'm assuming that it is. I could be wrong. Getting ready to ride out. Anyhow, yeah, that's kind of the work I had envisioned myself doing whenever I was first getting my CDL. But it didn't work out exactly like that. I had to go to work for Trans Am first, doing over-the-road reefer. And I'm still running reefer right now. But I was meaning to tell y'all that when I first started, you know, I knew that I had like, I knew that I was gonna, have to learn how it feels to, be behind the wheel for 11 hours a day driving, and I knew that was gonna have to be something that I was gonna have to get used to, and I was thinking to myself, I don't even know how it feels to drive for 11 hours a day. And but then I was driving one day and I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, I knew what it felt like to drive See, whenever I was in TDC, I was on the PAC unit, PAC 1 in Navasota, Texas, and we worked at a place called Buffalo Ranch right outside of Bryan. And whenever I first went to work at Buffalo Ranch, the first thing that they put me on, Captain Sanford. If any of y'all know what I'm talking about, man, Captain Sanford, Buffalo Ranch, PAC 1 unit, TDCJ. The first tractor that the captain put me on when I got there was, I didn't know nothing about tractors, and it was just a regular old, 40-10 or something like that, pulling a brush hog, just cutting grass and stuff like that, cutting weeds, shredding corn or something like, something that's just not, too valuable, and it wasn't too long after that I guess he Oh, well, basically what I'm saying is that I had previous experience driving for like extended periods of time, because I used to work on a prison farm where we would drive, like we were operating, you know, big tractors, 8410, you know. But anyhow, I'll tell y'all, I guess the captain seen that I had some sense, and then so he put me on the high boy, the 6500, John Deere 6500, man. And I'll tell you what, I stayed on that tractor off and on for about 2 years, man. He didn't trust anybody else with it. He didn't trust anybody else with that tractor, man. It was the only spray rig on the unit. And but yeah, man, I spent over 12 hours on the tractor. Man, I would come out. We would all catch the bus to Buffalo Ranch from Pack Unit, Navasota. Buffalo Ranch outside of College Station, man. Probably about 50-minute drive just to get to work on the bus. And we get there like around 6, man. Sometimes I'd be on the tractor by, 6:30, man, before 7. And stay on the tractor till 9 o'clock, man, at night. Everybody else come in on the bus at 5 o'clock. They leave. They go back to unit at 5. I was always on the late crew, man. So I stayed till 9. We came back in a little van, about 10 of us, the people on the big tractors and the spray rig. So yeah, man, I had realized I thought about it, and I realized, you know what? I did have experience driving for long periods of time. I just had forgot about it. I guess I don't know. But we did that. I worked on that farm for about 3 years, man. And yeah, man, the first track. I mean, I guess the first tractor that got assigned to me was the high boy. But it wasn't the first tractor that I had been on, because they'll put anybody on one of them little tractors, man, mowing or shredding corn or whatever it is, running a fertilizer rig, But whenever they assign you to a tractor, that like it's a little bit different, man. Nobody else is gonna be on that tractor except you. And especially for the high boy, because if y'all know what I'm talking about, man, especially for the high boy, man, because the high boy is like that tractor, man. I mean, I'm not patting my own back, man, but I'm just telling you, man, it take an exceptional person to be on that high boy and keep it in the field, man. Not only to operate it, man, but to keep it in the field, because you gotta turn into a plumber, you gotta turn into an electrician, you gotta turn into a mechanic, just to keep it running, man. And that's what I did. I kept it running, man. Man, we had some good times on, as far as being locked up, man, that was pretty good way to do time, I guess, man. I could say a lot of things, man, but it probably just sounded like I was boasting or bragging, but it was some good times, man. See, because that Buffalo Ranch, man, was out in the free world, man. And we was still in white. We was driving tractors, and we still had gray suits in these white trucks riding around counting us. That's how they do count, man. They drive by the field you was in, man. They see that tractor moving. Oh, there's honey. That's how they do the count, man. But there's other people out there. I mean, you crossing free world roads, highways. You know, mailman, delivery man. You know, people coming on the. You know, people getting lost driving down dirt road, being like, I thought I was going here, and they're like, nah, man, you on a prison farm. That kind of thing, man. But shoot, you know, man, I learned a lot. I learned a lot working on that at that place, man. And I think that experience is instilled into me that I could learn how to do whatever whatever I put myself, whatever I challenge myself to do, that I could do it. If I challenge, but I just, all I had to do was just challenge myself to do it, you know. But yeah, man. So yeah, like I was like I said, for a long time I was assigned to the highboy. The last tractor that I was on before I left was the 8410. I was planting corn, cotton in my load, man, and planting there. I was running a big tractor with a planter, Green Star system on it, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: when I first got the tractor, it didn't have the Green Star system on it, and I learned how to lay rows straight. I'm talking about, man. I'm talking about like, man. You'll be so proud of them. You'll be so proud of that field that you laid up, man. You'll just be so proud of it. With buckets, man. Step it off from the fence line. Captain say this is how he want the field laid up. All right, I'll do my best. You know, find you, step it off from the fence line or from the road. Set them buckets out there. You know, run them tire tracks, see how it looks. Then drop them blades, run that first set out, man, see how it looks. Might have to re-drop it, man, and straighten a little. I'm talking about this is all with the eye, not with the not no computer. You know, computer steering, not the Green Star system. And so yeah, that was the last tractor I was on. I made it up to that was the pinnacle tractor before I got out. So but like for a long time I was on that highboy, man, and in certain times the highboy can't run. Like if it's too windy or if it's so, lots of times I wouldn't be able to be on my tractor, so the captain would be like, hey, you want to run with the pivot crew. The pivot crew was the pivot mechanics. Those were the guys. See, the highboy had a lot of freedom. Being on that tractor gave me a lot of freedom to roam, you know, to roam how I wanted to roam on that ranch. And you know, because the highboy wasn't like a big tractor pulling a plow. You get set in that field, man, you might be in that same field for the next week and a half, man, plowing that same field. But the highboy, man, I jump into a field, man, I spray 100 acres, and I be on somewhere else, man. And it wasn't nothing for them to see me flying over here, flying over there. I'm over here at 18 pivot. You know, after lunch, I'm over here at 5 pivot. You know, like I said, this was a big ranch, man. And so, but lots of times whenever I wasn't running, you know, I had the ability to like go help the pivot mechanics, man. Help them, you know, fix a pivot that got stuck in the mud, broke, and kept on walking or something like that, you know, or just go prime a you know, a pivot motor, you know, something like that, or just or also I tell you whenever I wasn't on my tractor, the captain had put me the captain had put me in charge of the poly pipe. And if y'all know what I'm talking about, man, anybody that's done any kind of poly pipe work, man, doing any irrigation with that poly pipe, man, that's some hard work, man. And a matter of fact, he put me in charge of the poly pipe, and I think that I was probably one of the few members on the poly pipe crew that showed up every day, man. So basically, he put me in charge of the poly pipe, and I was the poly pipe crew, me, you know. And it was some hard work, but I you know, like on some rainy days, I'd be able to hang out with the welder, man. And I learned how to weld by doing that, by that type of scenario right there, man. On rainy days, hanging out at the welding shop. And he was a good welder, nice guy, man. And he taught me, man. And shoot, he helped me out, man. And he showed me how to strike that arc, man, and keep that rod burning, man, and how to lay a good bead. You know, how to set the machine. You know, and he was patient with me, man, too. I mean, so I was blessed, and my time incarcerated has always been blessed. You know, I even be able to go down to the horse barn and ride horses with them, with the cowboys on some days, man. Just, you know. So I had previous experience of driving for long extended periods of times, but I had just forgot about it. So I don't know how that happened, but that's it. And then so whenever I was driving that one day, and I realized, I was like, hey, I do have experience driving for long. I was like, man, when I was in prison on them tractors, man, I'd be driving the whole damn day. And you know, driving on the freeways is a lot more stimulating than driving in a field. But I don't like the Highboy was a little bit different, man, because you moving these. The Highboy is a spray rig tractor, the old John Deere 6500 spray rig tractor that looks like a grasshopper, and it's got these booms that sit in this cradle, man, and it's got this joist. It's a hydrostatic tractor. In other words, it don't have the wheels are operated. It doesn't have a drive shaft. It doesn't have a transmission. What it has is a big hydraulic pump that sends hydraulic fluid to little hydraulic motors on each wheel, and that's how it goes. And then it's got hydraulic rams that control the boom. And I became an expert on everything that was connected to this tractor that had to do with this tractor. I became an expert on it, man. How to change out a hydraulic ram, man. All kinds of different things. How to change out one time the captain said, he said something like, what's the drive shaft on that thing? And I was like, I said the tractor ain't got no drive shaft, man. It's got a big old bell. And he said, what? He said it ain't got no drive shaft. And I said no. I said it's belt operated, man. And he said, oh yeah. Anyhow, I became an expert on that tractor, man. And I became an expert at mixing chemicals too. And but I don't know, I guess I kind of started talking in circles whenever I started talking about that farm. I got so many different stories I could tell y'all about that, man, and y'all probably would not believe everything I told y'all. Probably thought I was making up something, or but you know, finally started loading me, man. Thankfully. Anyhow, y'all, I'll catch y'all later, man.